Hi everyone. Today we are going to go over lesson 12 of Business Math B. Lesson 12 is in Unit 3. The objectives for this lesson is so you will be able to compute selling price using cost and markup rate as a percent of selling price. We're going to go over some key terms first. First one is markup, which is the selling price minus the cost when selling price is higher. Markup rate is the markup of an item expressed as a percent of its selling price. Selling price is the price tag on a product or service that the customer must pay. Cost is the amount a company pays for a product. Pricing is the process of assigning a selling price to a good or a service. Maximum cost. To find the selling price, we can use cost plus the markup or the net profit. And cost is the selling price minus the markup. We can also find cost using selling price times complement of markup rate. Complement of markup rate, you should know this formula already, but I'm putting it in here again. It is 100% minus whatever the markup rate is. So really quick, let's say you are a wholesaler, right? You want to sell a DVD to retailers. So like it could be Best Buy, it could be Barnes and Noble, wherever. That's a retailer for $42 and earn a markup of 20% on the selling price. So if you always want to make some kind of profit when you're selling an item, correct? So that markup you want to take into account overhead, stocking, delivery, all that stuff that goes into that markup. How much more are you going to sell for what you paid for? Alright, so in this example, it is 20% on the selling price. So what is the most the wholesaler can pay a manufacturer and get the desired markup? So we want to sell it back for 20% higher than what we buy. So we need to determine how much we can afford to buy it for if we want to sell it for $42. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is find the complement of markup rate. So the markup rate is 20%. So the complement of that is going to be 80% because 100 minus 20 is 80. Now that we have that, we can find the cost. So we need to get the selling price of $42 and multiply it by the complement of 80%, convert 80% into a decimal, that's 0.80. So the cost is going to be $33.60. So that means the maximum we can buy it for is $33.60 if we want to have that markup of 20%. Alright, here's another example. So Amanda owns a bagel shop and marks item up for 40% on the selling price. So what is the most Amanda can pay for a dozen bagels if she sells each bagel for $1.45? So same thing, we need to find the markup rate or complement of markup rate first. That's going to be 60% in this example, 100 minus 40. Now that we have that, we can find the cost per bagel. Selling price times complement of markup, that's $1.45 times 60%, so 87 cents. So that means Amanda has to find a place that sells bagel for 87 cents, for example. But the question is asking for cost per dozen. So we need to multiply our answer by 12 because you know there are 12 in a dozen. So 87 cents times 12. That means the most Amanda can buy or can spend on buying a dozen bagels will be $10.44. Alright, I want you to try one out on your own really quick. Pause the video and then resume it when you're ready. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over this one. Same thing. We need to find the complement of markup rate. That's going to be 70% in this case. Let's find out what's the cost. Could be the maximum cost. Multiply the 70% by $385, giving us $269.50. So that's the maximum a wholesaler can pay a manufacturer for the karaoke machine. Alright, here's another one. Remember, this one mentions a dozen tulips. Alright, so be very careful with that. I want you to pause the video again, resume when you're ready for the answer. Alright, same thing. Find the complement of markup rate. That's going to be 84% in this example. Multiply that by $1.50. That means the most Sophia can buy a dozen tulip is going to be one tulip is $1.26. But for a dozen, multiply by 12, the most Sophia can spend is $15.12. Computing selling prices. So before they give us the selling price, we need to find how much we can spend on buying it from a manufacturer. This time it's going to be a little bit different. This time we're given the cost. We need to determine how much we should sell it for based on the markup rate that we're choosing. Alright, so the selling price is equal to cost divided by complement of markup rate. Same formula as earlier, complement of markup rate is equal to 100% minus whatever the markup rate is. Here's an example. Philip owns a watch store and he purchased fashion watches for $48.34. So his store regularly marks up fashion merchandise by 45% of the selling price. So what's the minimum Philip should charge for his his watch, if he's buying it for $48.34? Same thing as earlier, find the complement of markup rate. That's going to be 55% in this example. We need to divide the cost, $48.34, by 55%. So that means Philip should sell the watch for at least $87.89. If he sells it for more, then obviously the markup rates would be higher. But if we want to sell it for a markup rate of 45%, Philip must sell it for $87.89. Alright, I want you to try one out on your own. Pause the video and then resume it when you're ready.